The Ford F-150 is consistently the top-selling vehicle in the US. Its safety performance is of critical importance to millions of people. Let's review the F-150's results in the world's most demanding crash tests to find out if it's up to the task of protecting its occupants. First up, let's look at the safety of rear seat passengers in a frontal collision. We'll use the updated moderate overlap test, which now has a crash test dummy in the rear seat. Unfortunately, this test reveals that the F-150 struggles to keep passengers safe. The rear seat restraint system does a poor job controlling the dummy, which violently submarined under the seatbelt. This greatly increases the risk for abdominal injuries. The dummy also recorded a high risk of injuries to the chest, neck, and head. The F-150 scored the lowest rating of poor in this evaluation. Next up is the updated side impact test. Will the F-150 redeem itself in this evaluation? In this test, the F-150 is struck on its side at 37 miles per hour by a barrier that simulates a 4,200-pound truck. The structure had a moderate amount of intrusion. The distance between the B-pillar and seat center line is 17 centimeters. This is notably less than the 23 centimeters in the Chevy Silverado and 22 centimeters in the Toyota Tundra. The most concerning thing from this crash test is the side curtain airbag does not extend far enough back, which leads to the rear seat dummy's head striking the C-pillar. Overall, the F-150 scored the highest rating of good in this evaluation. However, if you regularly use the rear seat, you may find the inadequate head protection to be disqualifying. Now let's check out how strong the F-150's structure is in a frontal collision. To do this, we'll use the small overlap test, which is conducted at 40 miles per hour and concentrates all the crash forces on only 25% of the structure. Fortunately, the Ford has strong performance on the driver's side. The structure held up well with peak intrusion at 8 centimeters. The passenger's side did significantly worse at 20 centimeters of intrusion. Disappointingly, the passenger side of the structure performs worse than the previous generation. It's frustrating to see safety performance deteriorate like this. Driver and passenger dummy movement was well controlled. The risk of injuries is low to all body regions, except the lower legs and feet, which have a moderate injury risk for both the driver and passenger. Overall, the F-150 earned the highest score of good on both the driver and passenger sides. However, it's clear that the passenger side score is on the lower end of the good rating scale. The F-150's roof withstood just over 27,200 pounds of peak force, which is a very strong performance and enough to earn the highest rating of good. This is a positive finding given this large pickup truck's high center of gravity and greater likelihood of being involved in a rollover collision. Unfortunately, the F-150's overall safety results are pretty disappointing. Crucially, it struggles to protect rear seat passengers in the updated moderate overlap test and exposes them to a high risk for injuries. Rear seat passengers are put further at risk by side curtain airbags that have insufficient head protection. The front structure also had an excessive amount of intrusion into passenger side compartment in the small overlap test. All these issues lead to the conclusion that the Ford F-150's safety is inadequate. Unfortunately, no competitors in the large pickup class currently get top marks. The Rivian R1T and Toyota Tundra are slightly safer options, although they also have their own challenges with rear seat protection in the updated moderate overlap test. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the Nissan Frontier's abysmal crash test results, check out this video.